10 unbelievable stories that sound fake but are 100% true. Sometimes, life hands over stories so unbelievable that even Hollywood's finest writers couldn't have conjured them up. Such is the case with these 10 incredible stories. Although they sound like pure fiction, they are in fact so true. Have a look at some of the most jaw-dropping moments in history. 1. Woman survived fall from 33,000 feet without a parachute. The miracle story of Vesna Vulovic. Vesna was a flight attendant for Serbia's JT Airways in 1972. The story goes that when a bomb exploded on this plane, she was torn into pieces from an altitude of 33,000 feet, approximately 10 kilometers, with no parachute on her. How did she survive? Vesna was crushed in part of the fuselage that acted like a cushion on which she fell into a snowy forest. She fractured her skull and her legs. She became comatose temporarily, but, of course, survived. Her feat earned her a Guinness World Record, and her survival is one of the greatest mysteries of aviation. 2. Couple beats the system by winning lottery 2 times in a day. While winning the lottery is the dream of millions, imagine winning it twice. Not once, mind you, but twice in one day. That was the story for Calvin Spencer and his wife, Zadara, in 2014. First, the Virginia couple bought a ticket that won a $1 million prize on the morning of the day. Not yet satisfied, they bought another ticket later in the day to win an additional $50,000 prize. Their incredible streak didn't end there. A few weeks later, they won another $1 million jackpot. The Spencers are proof that lightning can strike more than once, especially when it's fueled by sheer luck. 3. A chicken lived for 18 months without its head. Miracle Mike, the headless chicken, became a sensation in 1945. A farmer in Fruita, Colorado, intended to butcher Mike but accidentally missed cutting a vital artery and left part of the chicken's brain stem intact. Mike didn't just survive the axe, he thrived. The farmer fed him with an eyedropper and even took him on tours around the U.S., raking in a fortune. Mike's tale of survival ends in his choking on food, but his legend lives on through the annual Mike the Headless Chicken Festival held in Fruita each year. 4. A baby survived 2 lightning strikes. What are the chances of making it after a lightning strike? For one baby from Colorado, lightning really did strike twice. In 2007, 13-month-old Kimberly Weimer was in her mother's arms when they were struck by lightning during a thunderstorm. They miraculously survived with minor injuries. Years later, it was to be the second near run-in with nature's wrath for Kimberly, another lightning strike this time, and again while playing in her backyard. Her strength has earned her a living test victory over unconquerable odds. 5. Australia fought a war against emus and lost. Australia is no stranger to the weird and wacky workings of history, but the Great Emu War of 1932 is something of a fantasy in itself. Following the overbreeding of emus, which then began ravaging farmland in Western Australia, the government deployed soldiers armed to the teeth with machine guns to kill off the big birds. The outcome? The emus became more nimble than assumed, ducking bullets and outsmarting military maneuvers. After weeks of failed attempts, the government gave up, leaving the emus triumphant. This amusing yet true story details the receptiveness of nature against human interference. 6. A woman awoke in her own funeral. Just imagine mourning someone you love, only to have that person wake up mid-funeral. In 2011, a 49-year-old Russian woman named Vagiliu Mukhamatsianov was pronounced dead after suffering from a heart attack and falling. Mourners were said to be praying over her coffin during her funeral when Vagiliu suddenly gained consciousness and began screaming. Tragically, she died shortly after of a heart attack, having been given too much of a shock. Her case is also a frightening reminder of the need for precise diagnosis in medicine. 7. Sister ship of Titanic experienced the same catastrophe. While the Titanic is world famous for its tragic sinking, few know that its sister ship, Britannic, met an identical fate. Originally designed as a luxury ocean liner, like its sibling Titanic, the Britannic was later transformed into a hospital ship during World War I. In 1916, just barely 4 years after Titanic sank, Britannic struck a mine in the Aegean Sea and sank in under an hour. Miraculously, most passengers survived, but eerie similarities between the two ships have sparked countless conspiracy theories. 8. A cat was the mayor of an Alaskan town for 20 years. A handsome orange tabby cat, Stubbs was the honorary mayor of Talkeetna, Alaska, from 1997. His work was largely a ceremonial one, but Stubbs won the hearts of the locals, who proudly pointed to him as he attracted far more visitors than any human mayor ever could. Stubbs spent his days lounging at the local general store and posing for photos with visitors. He served until his passing in 2017, proving that sometimes, even politics can be perfectly adorable. 9. A husband accidentally left his wife behind at a gas station. In a bizarre twist of fate, in 2012, an Argentine couple's road trip turned into a nightmare when the husband drove off after stopping at a gas station, completely forgetting his wife, who had stepped out to use the restroom. Unaware of her absence, he drove nearly 100 miles before realizing his mistake. Meanwhile, the wife, stranded without her phone or belongings, walked 12 miles to find help. Although the incident led to a public apology, it's unclear whether the wife ever forgave her husband's lapse in attention. 10. Twins were born with different fathers. A report on a Vietnamese woman in 2015 who delivered twins with drastically different features fueled family suspicion about DNA testing. In this astonishing case, it revealed two different fathers for the twins. Sometimes known as heteropaternal superfecundation, this rare phenomenon occurs when two eggs in the same ovulation cycle are fertilized by sperm from two different partners. This story shocked the local community and garnered global headlines, but somehow emerged as a particularly interesting case study for geneticists. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more bizarre and forgotten stories.